Hello, mystical souls. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I am so excited about this opportunity to have astrology reading. I'm going to start off with astrology. We're going to be doing new moons and full moons on Tuesday nights, and then on the off weekends, I'm going to be offering tarot consultations. So, yay, I'm so glad to see some of you are already here. Gina, roar back at you. It is Leo season. And Shannon, hello. Brianna, hello. Grant, hi there. Brandon, how are we doing? Oh my gosh. Okay, so we all know it's the Lion's Gate. I am super excited to be here and starting this on the Lion's Gate. So, if you are new here, my name is Patricia and I'm a Western and evolutionary astrologer. I'm super excited that you're here with me, and I graciously invite you to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss anything that's upcoming and any cosmic insights or opportunities. So I'm going to be offering full moon and new moon readings, and in between offering the live tarot consultations. The format's going to be the same. It's going to be on Tuesday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can sign up ahead of time with the PayPal link or with the code that is on the screen there. And before I dive in, I would really appreciate it if you would give this video a thumbs up. It helps to support the channel. It goes a long way in helping the algorithm to share with more seekers like you and I so that we can find each other in our own community. Also, if you would like to say hi in the chat and let me know where you're from and if you know your sun, moon, and rising. So I am coming to you from Ohio today. I am in the northern part of the United States and reaching out to everyone far and wide. Hannah, I am so glad that you're here. Aries moon, Leo rising. Oh, okay. I'm a Leo sun and Virgo rising and moon in Taurus. Cannot forget that. So for those of you who want to be part of this incredible journey, I really appreciate your support, especially with all your likes, your comments, because your presence means the world to me. Oh, Hannah, I am so excited that you are here also. Where is everyone from? And Gina, I love the roar. Like, let your lion out. All right. So for those who are seeking personal consultations, be sure to check out my website where you can book a one-on-one session that is tailored just for you. And if you're interested in what's going on, be sure to check out I include all of the major transits in videos. Please look at them for your sun and your rising sign. Oh, Gina, Cappy sun, Sag moon. Oh, be still my heart. And Aquarius rising. Gina, let your freak flag out. I love that. Connecticut transplant Brandon. Oh, I love the Connecticut area. Oh, hi, you Chronicles podcast. How are you doing? Shannon, Deanna is here with you. Yay! Okay, so I'm so glad that you got the link that was back. Oh, I'm sending some fire back out at you, Chronicles podcast. So for tonight's readings, you can use the PayPal link below and be sure to include your exact date, time, and birth location. It's really important when we set up the chart. If you have a specific question, feel free to add it along with your birth details. And if you don't worry about it, because I'm going to highlight any specific transit or significant transits that stand out to me, and I'm going to start with those who have signed up prior to tonight, and then I do have someone assisting me in the chat and who will let me know like who's in the queue. So after you've paid, then it will come up in the queue. Hey, Aries moon, Boston, Massachusetts. Oh, I love Boston. It's like a little mini New York. Absolutely love it. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what we're experiencing right now. So we have the sun is in Leo currently. Let me get my pen tool. So the sun is currently in Leo, and that's why we are having this Lion's Gate right now. What the Lion's Gate means is this is a great opportunity for manifesting. It puts a lot of energy into what you're fiery, what you're passionate about. So look to the Leo part of your chart and know that today is 8/8, the Lion's Gate, August 8th. Then I want to draw your attention to some planets that are retrograde, just to give you a flavor of where we are and what's going on. We currently have Venus in retrograde. Now, Venus, she had her shadow from June 20th to July 21st. So during that time period, that was giving you a heads up about what Venus was going to be taking apart in your life. Remember that Venus is the goddess of love, and she brings people, places, and things together. And she's about our self-worth, our property, it's cash, and it's people, and it's things that we value. So retrograde in the sign of Leo, remember that Venus she makes an 8-year cycle in your life. So she's going back and hitting a part of your life that if you go back 8 years, she's now taking some things and saying, oh, this has lived its course, and now we are going to be separating some things in your life. So look to your Leo part of your chart. She will be retrograde from July 22nd to September 3rd. And then she's going to be stationing direct on September 3rd. And we will be working out the bugs and going forward again until October 7th. So the first time a planet, they cross your path, when it goes retrograde, it goes back over a specific area. And then when it goes direct again, it gives you a chance to fine tune and tweak these areas that it's doing work on. Also, let's talk about, I want to bring Saturn. So Saturn is in Pisces, and he is going to be, Saturn is the planet that has the rings around it, and it's about stability and security and building things over time. And in the sign of Pisces, Pisces is watery and intuitive. So in the house, in your Pisces house, Saturn is now saying, you need to have some kind of structure, you need to have some kind of boundaries, and it'll be all the while until Saturn gets through the sign of Pisces. We also have Neptune retrograde in the sign of Pisces. I don't mind Neptune in retrograde because Neptune is our dreams, and it's what our hopes and our wishes. And sometimes when Neptune is direct, we do not always see clearly. We see through like pure goggles or rose-colored glasses what we want to see. And when Neptune is retrograde, we are given a chance to see things as they really are. And I also want to bring in the nodes, the north and south nodes. The nodes switch signs every 18 months, and they've just shifted into the Aries and Libra axis of your life. So for the next 18 months, you're going to be focusing on what is mine and what is yours, and finding a balance between who are you and who are you in that relationship or in that situation, depending on the house and the connections. Hello, Jessica, Faith, Leo, Moon. Oh, passion and fire. Beverly, my application was approved, and then after that, everything went south. Oh, I'm so sorry. Is that for work? I don't know if your application was for work. I know that everything that happens, I don't always like, but I know that there's always something else out there that is better that will come from this. Brandon, Virgo sun, that's a worker. Good for you. Oh, and Aquarius rising, just like Gina. Like, let your freak out. All right. Oh, Jessica. Hi, Jessica. All righty. All right, so I'm going to get started on this. So let me transition out of here and start to work on some consultations here. So the first person I have in the queue is Dina. So please, Dina, I think that I saw you in the room. Let me take a good quick look. All right. So move this on over. Dina, I really appreciate you joining me this evening. All right. So there we go. All right, Dina. So to get started, your question was where... where is, hold on, so sorry. Where's your career headed? So I first look to say, all right, you're Virgo rising, so you're ruled by Mercury. I'm going to point out a few things to you just to give you a little heads up. Since you're Virgo rising, it also rules your career. And Mercury is the planet that you should always pay attention to, because Mercury is going to be the one that will gift you the most and give you the most opportunities for success and lessons. And so we know that you are like this worker bee, and that you are harder on yourself than anybody else, and your moon is there too. So you definitely need structure. You definitely need organization, and your sun is in Scorpio. So this is about feeling things, knowing things, being very deeply intuitive about some things, and that you have these connections with people, and they are so, it's like you can feel it. You know when they're not telling the truth. You know when you are connected with them that it's either real and raw and authentic, or it's not, and you don't want to play with the people that are not. So let's talk about what's going on with you. Well, let me show you one more chart, because that'll make a little bit more of more sense to you about your career, because I want to talk about your nodes. Let's see here, because the nodes have just shifted into Aries and Libra, and there we go. Let me do a bi-wheel. There we go. Thanks, Dina, for having a little patience there. There we go. All right, Dina, give me thumbs up if you can see this. I'm pretty sure everybody can see it. There we go. I just need to make sure. All right, so I want to bring your attention to the nodes. Your nodes, your south node is in Libra, and your north node just entered into Aries. Aries is in your 8th house of shared resources. This is contracts that you have with other people, money that you have with other people. This is alimony, child support, cash, property. This could be with business partners, and this could be with significant others. These are anything that we have as contractual or anything that's financial. The north node being in Libra is you and your personal money, and you finding a balance between what is mine with other people and what is mine alone. And in the sign of Libra, this is you really saying, I need to have some balance in my life. I need to put me first. So Aries is ruled by Mars, which is in your 1st house of self. And this is personally you saying, I have to be organized. I have to be structured. I have to get the paperwork in order. I have to be the one to initiate this. Now I'm going to remind you, as a Virgo rising, that Mercury is going to station retrograde in your 1st house of self. Mercury is going to station retrograde on, currently we are in the shadow of, so August 4th, we hit the shadow of. So there's something about you that you are starting that has to do with travel, that has to do with paperwork, that has to do with contracts. And this could be with, this is also with your house of career, your 10th house of your legacy, your business. And so with that being said, Mercury stationing retrograde, it will be from August 23rd to September 15th. And then, so think about things that you're signing, things that you're doing, any paperwork, any contracts, anything that has to do directly with you, because you are going to be the one that needs to initiate this. You're going to be going back over it again. Then there's also going to be another retrograde. I bring that up because that one will be December 13th to January 2nd. And they're all in earth signs this year. Mercury stationed retrograde 4 times. And so it will be in your 5th house. And so we know that there is something that you personally are initiating. It's you being the Virgo, you being Mars and initiating. It's sitting on top of your moon. Your moon is your intuition, your gut instinct. It's your dreams, it's your hopes, it's what you don't share with other people that needs to be satisfied. And this is needing something that's solid, stable, concrete, and reliable. And Mercury is, I have to make this happen. I have to put this into play. The North Node is, there could be something that has to do with contracts that you have with other people. This could be money that is willed to you, or this could be taxes. This could be, it's any kind of cash or property that is mixed up with other people or invested in with other people. And then your South Node is saying, how do I find a balance and make sure that I put myself first, that I just don't give away everything that I have. Libra wants balance, but Libra's ruled by Venus, and right now Venus is currently retrograde in your 12th house. This is the house of isolation. It's the house of fear. It's the house of, I am going through some things and some things are breaking apart, and I don't necessarily feel comfortable with where they're going. And so at this time, you are going to be the one putting forth your the initiative to change your finances. You are going, and I would definitely, it's definitely going to be all about you. And it's going to be about making sure that you are saying yes to what you want to say yes to, no to saying what you want to say no to. It's about finding that balance. Remember that I look at, so Aries rules the head, and Aries is first, and it's impulsive, and Libra is more like the we. And so with this is going to be a time period of, you are going to have to put your needs first. And some people are just not going to like it. And I've told all of my consultations at this point that wherever you have Aries in your chart, you're going to have to put self first, and don't look at it as selfish. Be very selective about who you merge or connect up with or have contracts with, who you sign anything that will be long term. So, all right. So I'm hoping that you got something out of that, understood it, and let me know in the comments. I can skim through and see if you have any questions before I move on. And all right. And look, I love a Scorpio sun, Dina, because a Scorpio sun just tells me that you're already intuitive. You already know this. You already feel it, and you have just been through the hardest year and a half of your life when the nodes were in your 3rd and 9th house. Like they went through and totally transformed who you are. So you've been through the last year and a half. This next year and a half is still going to be pivotal because it's going to be activating your outer planets. And this is your own personal resources. Currently, your South Node is on top of Uranus. So this is shock, surprise, pivot. I didn't see that coming. And then it's going to be on top of your Mercury. How are you going to communicate this? And Pluto is going to force a total transformation. When the South Node goes across the planes of the elliptical of these planets, it's literally realigning the North and South nodes as they go across. It takes them 18 months to totally spend a lot of time in that area of your life to make sure that you really understand the lessons, and you feel them as soon as they go into the sign, and then they're activated by the eclipses. Now the eclipses, the next one that's going to be happening is, I believe it's October 14th, and that will definitely activate your 8th house. You feel it or will get the signals from it 2 months prior, so you should start picking up the signals now of what are you working on, what are these contracts that you have with other people, and how do you use this to your best benefit, making sure that you're putting yourself first and your personal finances. And there will be some shocking endings, and there will be some total transformations with Pluto, Uranus, and Mercury being activated. Remember that you are ruled by the sign of Mercury, so this will also transform the way that you communicate with others. So, oh, Dina said she will contact you privately. Oh, well, great. We're both watching on my phone. I am so glad. Okay, so, and it's being recorded, so you'll be able to both see this later. So, both, thank you. All right. I am going to then move on. Let me see who else is in the queue. All right, so since you are both together, I'm going to move on to Shannon then. Now, Shannon, let's take a look. Okay, so Shannon, you are asking about dreams and seeing things. Look, I am loving your chart completely, absolutely loving this. With a Taurus rising, you have your Chiron there. I'm just going to point out just a few things that like catch my eye right away. So you have Chiron as your wound, needing solids, needing stability. The way that you communicate is earthy, solid, grounded, and your sun is in your first house, your rising sign. And so this is a lot. This is a lot to work with. And so your last year and a half has also been difficult because of the eclipses going through your first house of self and your house of partnership. Now, I'm going to show you where the nodes are now, because that will totally explain to you, like, okay, what is going on with you. Let me switch back over here. Shannon and today's transits, because when you see this, there we go. All right, so I want you to notice your nodes right here and right here. This is called a nodal opposition. The nodes again go through the chart, and every 18 months go into a different sign, and they've just shifted into the sign of Aries and Libra. Yours are opposite. You are born with your south node in your 12th house and your north node in your 6th house. Your south node is where you came from, being a mystic, understanding things, knowing things, dreaming about things, seeing things that people just don't see. And then your north node of the direction in which you're supposed to be going in this lifetime is in your 6th house of how do I be of service to others, finding a mentor. So the 6th house is your mental, physical, spiritual health and well-being. And now that you have this nodal opposition, I think of a nodal opposition as your past is coming up to greet you into the present. Think of it as you're driving in a car and you've got your rearview mirror and you're looking at your past in the back seat, and it will be you running into people, places, and things that have come up from your past. And this is, are you where you're supposed to be? It's kind of like knocking on your door saying, have you done the work? Are you paying attention? So having your south node in your 12th house, you dream, you have this intuition, you have Mars and Venus and your south node. You've come with a lot of work to do. You've come with knowledge. You are supposed to be going and sharing this knowledge. Have you been paying attention? Have you been tapping into it? So the south node being activated by the north node is looking at your past and saying, do I see a pattern? Like, think back. Think back 9 years ago. There was something that was major that activated, and then go back even 18 years. So this has been going on for a long time. And what happens is as the nodes go through the chart, they go opposite of the planets. And when they are activating that house, they're literally giving you an opportunity to integrate all of the things that are going to be brought up. The north node in your 12th house is also about karmic healing. It's about shamanism. It's about intuition. It's about all of the things that we don't share with other people. It's sitting alone with our thoughts and our feelings and being in tune to them. I look at the spiritual realm as having a language and our earthly realm as us having a language. And how can we connect with them? Well, that's through our dreams and through symbolisms and music and like finding a feather, finding a penny, hearing a noise that nobody else hears, having a thought, having that is a way of connecting with you. And are you hearing it? Are you connecting it? What are you doing with it? You know, you can put parameters on it. You can say, I need to move forward with this. Like, what does this dream mean? And I don't want to have a bad dream that I cannot do anything about. I put serious parameters on anything that comes to me in my dream state with, first off, I don't want anybody coming to me with a message that I can't deliver. Don't just come to unload. It has to be something that I can do something about. And I clearly state it that through my dreams or in my dreams, I connect with other spiritual beings and people, shamans, past life regression. You can do yoga. There's so many things that you can explore with your 12th house. And you've got a year and a half now to like look back at your past and say, has this been passed down from generation to generation? Am I ready to heal this trauma? And you can walk away from it and you can block it off until a better time that you are more comfortable. The North Node here can bring abilities that were latent that you can now discover that like. And I wouldn't even say it's discover, it would be remember. You will be remembering. What am I supposed to do with this? So I'm hoping that answers your question. And yeah, I'm hoping that answers your question. I'm going to go a little bit more into your South Node. The South Node is literally right on top of your moon. Your moon is your hopes, your wishes, your dreams. It's your intuition. It is your gut instinct, and you have really good. I mean, a moon in Libra in the 6th houses, you are torn between who do I help? How do I help? How do I be of service to this person? How can I help this person? This much action going on in this house can lead to burnout. So I'm going to encourage you, Aries, North Node, be sure that you are setting aside more than enough time to take the nice bath, to dive into the book, to meditate, to go to the retreat, or to have that place in your home that you can go and retreat to, because this is you putting yourself first, your needs first, before you can share with other people. With your with the South Node on top of your moon, and it will go across your Pluto. This is also going to be totally restructuring how you are of service and the mentors and the guides that will come into your life once you put it out there that you are willing to receive. Remember that the 6th house is the house of how am I of service to you, but it's also the people that I need to help me get through whatever it is that I'm going through. It would be people that guide you along the way. All right, so let's move on. Thank you so much, Shannon, for trusting me with this. Let me go to a transition here. All righty. And so let's talk about I think Hannah is next, and I think I definitely saw that you were here. So I am also going to, because you're asking about your Saturn return, I am going to bring up a bi-wheel with that also, which is a really good thing for you to be focused on. There we go. All right, so Hannah, thank you again for trusting me. Let's talk about this. You are a Gemini rising. Look, I love Gemini rising. Gemini, remember, ruled by Mercury. Your thoughts, your ideas, they're always like the racing mind, but you're quick and you grasp things quick because your sun is here also. So you are seen as somebody that people can go to for information. You are seen as somebody who if they don't have it, they know where to get the information. They're quick-witted. And so your ruling planet's going to be Mercury. Now, you have Saturn at the top of your chart in the sign of Pisces. I just want to talk about Saturn for just a second, because Saturn is at the top of your chart. This is what you're meant to do for your career. This is the legacy that you want to leave behind. Saturn is the planet of remember, that has the rings around it. It's the teacher. It's time, and it's effort, and it's the mountain that you need to climb. And yours is in the sign of Pisces, meaning you will do your best work after you have your Saturn return. And so you are coming up to your first Saturn return, and it's already in the sign of Pisces. So you are really learning, what are boundaries? How do I rein in all this water? Because it's intuition. I feel it. Like, you feel other people's feels, and you want to please. So how do I work with that energy? I have to have boundaries, healthy boundaries for yourself. And with your Saturn here, this is you for the life, you for your future, not just your career. It's like the 10th house is how people view you, like up on a pedestal. I love the fact that you're focused on it now, knowing that now is going to be a time that you're going to pick a career or pick something that you're interested in. That does not mean that you will stay in that one forever. It just means that you are looking for something that will satisfy your soul. Remember, Pisces wants to be of service to everybody. Wherever we have Pisces wants to be, you be red, I be blue, and let's all be purple together. It just wants to blend everything together. It's spiritual, it's feelings, it's emotions. And this for you is going to be, I need to create some boundaries so I know who I am. The first 29 years, it goes between 28, 29, 30. The first third of your life is figuring out, who are you? Like, who are you as a woman? Who are you in a relationship? Who are you with the people that you work with? Who are you with your friends? And this is also, what kind of a career? What service do I want to give for humanity? I want to be of service. And what does that look like? And for you, it's not always going to be about the money. It's going to be about what fills your heart. How can you support everyone? Because that's what Pisces wants to do. And you're going to have to rein it in and say, how can I be of support? How can I do this? And I'm going to have some boundaries. I'm going to have some limitations. I am going to have to be the one to limit myself, because I can be my own worst enemy, and I can be my own best gift. Now, Neptune is retrograde here, so this is a good thing. This is offering you clear vision of what your dreams are. Whatever your career is that you're working on now, this may be a stepping stone, or it may be it's about getting you in the right direction. So I'm not quite sure what your work is or what you are doing now. I know that it needs to be of, oh yes, okay, good. Yay, you're here. Okay, so now that you are here, I don't know what your work is, but I know that you need to do work that fills your soul. And in order to fill your soul, in order to help others, you're going to have some kind of limitations. I am going to bring a little bit of attention to Aries in your 11th house and the South Node in your 5th house. Remember that the North Node is pointing in the direction. This is you seeking out. The 11th house is my personal hopes, wishes, and dreams. So this is your hopes, your wishes, your dreams. It's what you want to do. And it's the people that you connect with. Aries in the North Node is saying you are going to have to be the one to search out groups, clubs, organizations, networks, people that will help support you for your career, for your legacy. And Neptune being retrograde is going to give you a clear vision of what are their intentions and how can I manifest this and make this happen. The South Node is wanting to be creative, wanting to find a balance between what I want to do and what I need to do. The 5th house is about what brings joy to you, and you seriously searching for what does bring joy to you. Let's see. We do have, okay, you have Pluto sitting on top of Uranus. So this does mean that there are some transformations that are going to go through, some transformations that have to do with your personal resources and the resources that you share. But you have a grand Earth trine, so I'm not concerned about anything that's going to happen with that, because a grand Earth trine is, you are so solid, you are so stable, you are so reliable. That's the positive. The difficulty that comes with it is sometimes you need the nudge, sometimes you need the push, to be pushed outside of your comfort zone, because you're solid. You don't want to butt. It's like a tree. And sometimes you have to remember, be like a willow tree. Like, try to go with the flow of it a little bit. So I'm hoping that helps you out with your, helps you out with your Saturn return. All right. So let's take a look and see who is next. Oh, Shannon, I have to say, my mom passed 9 years ago. Oh, my chart said 9 and 18. Yeah, my dad became, oh, no, I totally, okay, so Shannon, now that I'm reading your comments, remember that we did talk about the nodes going back the 9 years ago, and I'm so sorry, because that was, remember that the nodes bring hard and fast, can't go back changes in our life. I look at the nodes and say, like, the eclipses bring the changes. Whenever we have these eclipses, think of it as we're walking across a bridge and we're hiking, and the water comes through and it removes the bridge. We can't go back. Whenever eclipses make these changes in our life with the nodes, it literally is the point of no return. The bell cannot be unring. You cannot look at that person again with different eyes, because now you are seeing them clearly. You cannot go back to that job. You can't go back to that, because that person is now, like, literally gone. And I'm so sorry that those things have happened to you. And I'm sending out a big heart hug to you, and know that you're on the right track. And so now that you know, now you can move forward with more knowledge. And Hannah, oh, thank you. I'm so glad you have this clarity, because I love Saturn returns. All right, so let's take a look at who is next. Let's talk. Oh, let's do Grant. All right. Thank you for trusting me, Grant. I really appreciate you being here this evening. All right. And if anybody else is on here and you would like to have your consultation, don't forget the QR code is there, and include your date, time, and location of your birth, and if you have a question. So Grant was talking about his career, wanting to know about that. So let's take a look. Grant is also a Gemini rising, and I love this. If you look at Grant he has the stellium. He has the ruler of his first house in his first house with Venus and Mars. Mercury is how he communicates. He has the thoughts, he has the ideas, and how does he articulate them? He's quick-witted. Venus is here. How do I show my love? How do I make money? And Mars, what do I go after? What do I initiate? And using my words to initiate those things. Knowing that all of this is going on, I do want to take a look at your nodes. Okay, so Grant, you are also having a nodal opposition. Yours is occurring in your 11th and 5th house. So let's talk about this. So Aries is the sign of me going first. So the 11th house for you is, what are your hopes? What are your wishes? What are your dreams? And who are you connecting with to make it happen? Now, your 5th house is where your north node is, in the sign of Libra. a beautiful person. He wants to please. He wants to make sure that everything is balanced, does not like arguments, does not like fighting, like literally let's keep the peace. And in the fifth house of creativity, being childlike, creating things. So this would make you very creative, very childlike with games, and they could be arcade games, they could be the games that are like on the computers, or anything in general that would be I don't want to say childlike, but it's like things that bring pleasure to you. Is I want to be happy being childlike. I want to be in the moment of that. And so you're having this nodal opposition. This is you, again, looking back at your past and saying, where was I? What was going on? Now, yours is with Saturn. Your south node is, in order for you to build things, in order for you to build things that last, you have to pick the right mountain to climb. You have to personally go after things that will benefit you and your career. Nobody else is going to do it for you. And the north node is saying, use your voice. It's in your first house. You're like, your first house is loaded. I absolutely love this about you, that once you set your mind to something, you are an unstoppable force. You get the idea, you have the words, it's in your head, and sometimes you can be immovable, but once you've made up your mind that you're going to do something, you go through full steam ahead. You own it, you make it your own, and then there's pride in, look what I've done. I can provide, I can do this. Now, the south node and the north node, the opposition, there's going to be some things that are going to come up from your past, some things that you might be getting rid of, some things that you used to do, or some things that used to bring you joy. And it's now focusing on, okay, I now need to focus on a career. I need to focus on who do I connect with to better myself for my job? Because right now Saturn is really on top of your 10th house, and it's going to be spending some time there saying, this is my job, this is my career, this is my focus, and this is where I want to go. And I cannot be you shouldn't be taken advantage of. Remember that Pisces is very watery, and it's very loose. And wherever you have Pisces, it's about building a dam or building a solid foundation around it. Oh, good. Okay, I'm glad you're going to try your best, because this is, look, Grant, the work that you want to do in this lifetime is going to have to be meaningful to you, and you are going to be the one who's going to have to go after it. You're going to be the one who's going to use your words, your wit, your intelligence, your it's all going to be focused on you. You are a communicator. You are the person. Remember that anybody who's like a Gemini rising, they're quick-witted, they have this great sense of humor, and with this huge stellium there, you are probably a jack of all trades, that if somebody wants something done, or if they need something, that if you can't find a traditional way to do it or get it done, you will find a way to make it happen, make it work, or get it done. And a great quality to have. Use it to your advantage for your job, your career, and your networks that you work within. So I hope that helps you out, Grant. Thank you. Thank you for trusting me. All right, so let's talk about who is next in the queue. Okay, let's take a look at Brandon. Thank you, Brandon, for trusting me. All right. And you wanted to know more about what was going on, just a basic reading. All right. So as I look at this, hallelujah for small favors. You're done with your Saturn return. Yay, past that hard area of your life. I'm sure that it was Saturn returns for anybody, and yours was in your first house of self. And so in the sign of Aquarius, look, I love this. Yay, yes, your turn. Saturn in Aquarius is unique and creative and let your freak out. And I can connect with somebody who is a transient, and I can connect with somebody who is a CEO of a company. And that's how people can see you. They can see you as going two different ways, and always shock, always surprise. And so now that it's in the sign of Pisces in your second house, this is about you getting a handle on your money. Okay, it's going to be crossing your moon. So we have Saturn in Pisces, and your moon is here. Intuitively, you know what you need to do. The second house is your cash, your property, your self-worth. And Saturn here is now saying, okay, I've been loosey-goosey with all my money, with my finances, and now I need to have a solid plan. And truly, the solid plan needs to be written out. The nodes are currently, the nodes were in your 4th and 10th house. So I'm sure that there was a move in a career. So now that you've had this big move, now that you've had this shift in a career, the nodes are now shifting into your 3rd house of communication and your 9th house of travel, connecting with foreign people, places, and things, and learning. And so knowing this, you're going to be spending some time with where you're at and researching a lot on your own, taking the initiative to go after what it is that you want, finding the mentors of who can guide you, who can help you build up your financial plan so you can have success, because you're going to be in a position of you taking the lead, educating yourself. The South Node in your 9th house is, okay, yeah, I do want to travel and I do want to connect with these people, and it will go across your Venus. That is natural ruler of money. And how can you make money through the internet? How can you make money? Remember that the 9th house is people, places, and things that are not here. And it can be like airwaves. Libra is through the air. It's like, how do I connect with people through the air? Email, phone, text, Zoom, all of those things. And so you're going to be spending the next year and a half focused on where you are at your new location and building a structure that is broad and through the internet, and focusing on your cash, your property, and bringing it into alignment to set yourself up for success. Because as we look at this, like Saturn is in your 2nd house now, and it's saying, okay, I need to build something. I need to build my finances. And in order to do that, you might need someone to help you as a financial planner, because it'll give you great self-worth. It'll make you feel really good. Your moon is in Pisces, like very intuitive, probably dream, have your gut instinct about people, and having this stellium in your 8th house, like people just shouldn't lie. And you will want to get to the bottom of things. And so how are you going to be doing this? Remember that this is opposite of the way that you are communicating in Mars. So be gentle and kind with your words, because you can be forceful, harsh, and direct at this time with 8th house. That's with shared resources with other people. So working with your partner, or working with a financial planner, or working with anybody that you, a business partner or anything, come up with a plan that works for you to make sure that you're setting yourself up with a solid plan for financial security for the future. All right. So Oh, I literally just moved for a job. Well, I am so excited for you for this move. Oh, you were the one that said the transplant. So I'm excited for your move. I'm very excited. And I think that you're going to be there for, a few years because right now, with everything going on in your third house, this is you saying, I have to initiate all education personally. It's not going to be handed down to you. It's you're going to have to go after it yourself. You're going to have to initiate learning, and that's going to be like a year and a half. And don't take it as a struggle. Take it as a challenge, because right now, look at this up here in your 8th house. You've got this. And know that then the nodes will go into your 2nd house. So everything that you're doing now, literally you're setting yourself up for success, because the nodes are going to go into your 2nd house in a year and a half. So if you are looking ahead and saying, I want to plan for the future, get your finances in order now, and then when the nodes go switch into your 2nd and your 8th, that's when things will really be able to take off and multiply. So thank you, Brandon. Thank you for trusting me. All right, so let's take a look at who is up next. Thank you, Brianna. All right. So Brianna, appreciate your patience. Oh, Brianna, you have a lot in your 12th and 2nd house. Let's talk about that for just a hot second. So first off, this is big. This is a sun in Aquarius, moon in Aquarius, Mercury in Aquarius, all in your 2nd house of I want to be unique. I want to be different. I can communicate with anybody. But don't look at me. But I want to be unique, and I want to stand out, and I want to be part of the crowd. Yes, Brianna, it is you. Now, remember that, anything that is on like this side of the chart, like anything that's over on the left side, is you have the free will to change things and to, you have free will over it. Anything that's on the right side of the chart over here, this is where things happen and you have to work with what is there. So in this lifetime, you chose to have all of this Aquarius energy, to want to think about others, to help others, to have this connection, to want to stand up for others, but be removed from. And this is huge. To have this stellium in your 12th house, Pluto is the planet of great transformation, and it is at 0 degrees in Sagittarius. Jupiter is in its home sign here, and Venus is here. So let's put it all together. Jupiter is it's about believing in things that you haven't seen, that you don't know, but knowing that something else is out there. It comes at the time of year, so think about Christmas and winter, and hoping that we know that spring is going to come around the corner. We know it's going to be there, but when is this going to happen? Having the faith and the hope that it's going to be there. Well, your 12th house is the house of self-sabotage, and it's isolation, and it's where I need to go alone. You need a lot of alone time. You need to have an area that literally is like private, your own little Zen den, whether it's a bath or a shower or meditation or sleep or you having to take this time out. Anybody with a lot in their 12th house, this is the house of I take on so much. I have to take it in and process it. And so this is you having a lot to work with and saying, all right, I need to get rid of everything that belongs to everybody else, and I need to only focus on myself. So I'm going to bring into... Oh, you do have you'd love a Zen den. I would love if you had a Zen den too. Like a Zen den, or It's about something that you need for, this could be time alone in your car, time alone, like just a nap in general, or a time to meditate, or any of those things. But Pluto this is where you transform. You transform when you are allowed to self-isolate, be alone with your thoughts, be alone with your ideas, and come back out renewed. And Jupiter is saying, look, like, don't stay there too long. Like, make sure you come back to society. I do want to talk about, you did start a new Mars cycle. And Mars is going to go retrograde in your 9th house. Remember that your 9th house is the house of travel, foreign people, places, things, learning, taking classes, having things published. And so Mercury is going to station retrograde here. So this could mean going back to school, learning something new, learning a new trade. It will go retrograde August 23rd to September 15th, but you're going to start feeling it now between August 4th and August 22nd. It will give you an indication of what you're going to go back and review. And then after September 15th to September 30th, you'll be working it all out. And this could mean, like I said, taking a class, taking a workshop, finishing something, going back and looking at something that you've done before. I want to bring up that when Mercury stations retrograde here, from the August 23rd to September 15th, it will then go retrograde December 13th to January 2nd in your first house of self. So whatever new trade that you're learning, or new projects, or you going back and finishing something, completing something, then it will change who you are or how people see you. It will go across your first house of, a new class. Oh, good. I'm glad you started a new class. So this will be you diving deep into it and saying, okay, I might need to review these notes. I might need to refocus on this. Knowing that could also change the direction of where you're going when Mercury does station retrograde in your first house. Hey, Savannah. I really wish I knew my birth time. I really wish you knew your birth time too. So let's talk about that for just a second. For people who are, you can find your birth information on your birth certificate, sometimes in a Bible, sometimes in a baby book. There's also public records that you can go and look online to get. The reason we need your exact date, time, and location is because it literally sets up your wheel, your chart. And you know what, let me show you what I mean by that. And I'll use the transits as an example. So let's pretend that the transits were somebody who was born today. Like right now, if this person were born, their rising sign would be a Libra. And so let me draw a line here, hold on. So think of this is the horizon. And all of these planets that are on the top here, these are all of the planets that are in the sky at the moment that this child was born. And everything down below here has to do with planets that were below the horizon. And the first house is all about the self. It's about how the person sees themselves. It's about how they present themselves to others. And the second is about their cash, their property, their self-worth. The third is their communication, their learning at home. The fourth is their home. Their fifth is their house of joy, pleasure. And the sixth is of service to others and their daily work habits. If the down here belongs to everything with this person, the top is about what this person needs, or what they're like. If this person is if they're a Libra rising, what they look for in partners or significant others, or not just significant others, but work partners and clients and one-on-one relations, is Aries. This person needs someone who is fiery, who's passionate, who will go out after things. It doesn't mean that they have to actually go after, like they will date an Aries sun. I mean, it could be somebody who has those qualities, who has a lot of Aries in their chart. This person, if they have Scorpio on their second house, then they are very Taurus-like with other people's resources, other people's cash and property and investments. If their third house is them close to home, learning, their ninth house is them wanting to travel and their connection to people in the outside world through traveling, school, work, publishing. If the fourth house is home, then the 10th house is their career, and this person would be ruled by the moon, very Cancer, very intuitive, very feelings. They need to do something that relates to home-like. If the fifth house is what brings them joy, then the 11th house is how they network, the people that they network with for their career. And if the sixth house is their service, then the 12th house is them, how they find time alone. The 12th house is typically your, it's the house of isolation and dreams and intuition, and it could be prison or hospital. Like this person would have some things that they would need to, they would be able to communicate with a lot of Mercury thoughts, details, maybe racing thoughts, and would need some time alone to cut away some of that. So having your exact date, time, and location tells us where the planets are in the sky at the time and below the horizon. And so when you are listening to your astrology, it's best if you listen to for your rising sign, but you can also get some you can get some for your sun and your moon for both of those signs. So I really hope that you find yours, because I would love to connect with you and offer you guidance with how you can I use astrology with how I work to flow with the energy. I work to understand the things that are going on in my life at that time. And when things are like, I know that the eclipses are coming. We know that they're going to be October 14th and October 28th. We know we're going to have huge endings and these huge beginnings. And so I look to those areas of my life. I look to the Aries and Libra, knowing that things that are in those two houses that are going to start coming up now, then will be activated by the eclipses, and I'm not as shocked and surprised. Like it happens and I look at it and was like, oh my gosh, I didn't think it was going to be that. I thought it was going to be this, but at least I had a heads up, and at least it makes it easier for me to flow with the energy of, okay, this is for my best and highest good. I need to walk away from this, and I need to embrace this new future. I look at things as learning to go with the flow, and instead of like if there was a riptide pulling us out, that you don't fight the current, you just go along with it, and it will take you to a smoother place where you can swim into shore. Like use the astrology for guidance with how do I work with what's going on. Your astrology chart is your map, your birth map of who you came in, what you want to accomplish, all of these connections that you have with others, and the lessons that you want to learn, and how do you be your best and highest good. And everybody's is unique and different, and it depends on your date, time, and location of birth. So I do not think that I have anybody else in the queue. So I really appreciate everybody, and I hope to see you again